If you know me, you know I'm a mush. I know that's bringing some tears to me. Let me tell you. It's good to be home. It's good to be home. I say that every time I come in this place. It's good to be home. Dug this out. It was more important to wear this than it was to wear a stupid suit. I got to say a bunch of thank yous. I really do, real quick, and these names are important to me. Paul Kwanzaa means the world to me. I know he was important. He let me be who I am, and he helped me. He was a great principal. Tim Sirkovich, Bill Mueller, all the faculty here at Andrean, so special. So many families: Kovacs, Skinners, Bozaks, Allegrettis, Tom Taglia. Bunch of people that are here tonight. The Zurichs, the Fielders, Maguras, Rodishes, Lesh, Dravitz. Unbelievable. I could just keep going down. Without families, it takes a village. Without all of you, there's no way any of this ever happens. All my coaches, Denny, my goodness. I've had just phenomenal staffs. My team moms, I know one of them's here. Miss Lesh, what you guys did for me was just unbelievable. My dad died in 2013, right before, in the spring, before we had a chance to go down to Indy together. He would sit in a wheelchair in the end zone, always cheering us on, always rooting for us. My players, unbelievable. Kyle Kovacs. Kyle Kovacs. If I had a tennis ball right now and threw it out the door, he'd sprint out there and go get it. My son. How do you play for your dad at this level and go through the things? And Dave, there were 3 lettermen on that team. Sorry. He was one of them. Okay. But anyway. My wife. She has the toughest job of anybody. Because no matter where you're at, no matter how good you are, no matter how successful you are, there's always a critic. And she has to handle the brunt of it, she has to deal with it, and she has to deal with me. I always tell everybody the worst thing that can happen is when we lose on Friday, because it's not like baseball or basketball. The next week is a rough week. It's tough to go through. Coaching here at Andrean, you're a caretaker. You're a caretaker. You take care of a bunch of kids that are going to do everything possible to do everything they can to win for you on Friday night. You almost screw it up. And I've screwed it up a few times. There's no doubt about it. There's a couple number 3s that played here. One of them's here. I was fortunate to coach the other one. A young man named Matt DeSommer, who was just an unbelievable, high character, just incredible football player. So many kids. I could stand up here and just talk forever about those kids, about how amazing they were, just the things that you asked them to do. Seeing the Zurichs here, Mason Zurich, I'll never forget, against Maryville, our first win against Maryville his senior year, and he never came off the field. You know, you got so many two-way players at Maryville. Not only did he carry the ball probably 42 times that game, but he probably made 42 tackles. Having kids like that, you're going to be successful. The field, walking out here, there's nothing like it, and I've coached at 5 other high schools. I'm currently coaching at a school where we play in a stadium that, I'll be honest with you, it's a beautiful place. It's in the middle of an old town, but there's nothing like walking out here. Dave did me a great favor, and I didn't realize it when he stopped us from, we couldn't go across the baseball field anymore. He didn't like that. He didn't like that. We started walking down the tennis courts. there's nothing like walking down that tennis court at 6:55. Nothing. Leading these guys to battle. Unbelievable. And some of the games. Unbelievable games out here. From a kid named Dimitri Blanco in an overtime game against Munster, running a play that probably was one of the worst calls I ever made. Nobody blocked the soul, and somehow he supermaned it into the end zone for us to get a great win. To a young man named Josh Barajas, who I watched just make countless tackles and countless plays. Again, I could go on and on. So many parents that are in here that I could talk forever about every one of your young men that played for me. Joe playing center for us, Dennis playing guard. How many more Dravitz are there going to be that are going to play corner at this place? Just amazing. It's just an amazing, amazing place to coach football. Sorry, I knew I'd leave out a name. Mrs. Bickle did just amazing things, and her son was a great player for us. Finally, I got these two. First of all, Hannah. Yeah, I never got to go to see half of her stuff. I've had 1,000 kids that I talk about. I talk about all of these kids all the time, and they stand next to me when I talk about them. All these kids that I say great things about, and these two stand right next to me and listen. And the great things that she's done, gone to Purdue, is now a teacher at Crown Point. PJ, who was an outstanding two-sport athlete, who I really wish was standing here other than me, because I think he deserves to be here more than I do. To have to play for me. He's been sent home in his underwear. He's been suspended for a half, and it only ended up being a series. I'll never forget when we lost in the regional his senior year at Jimtown. I had to console the team, and I had to console the son. He's laying in the middle of the field, and I walked up to him and I said, Jay, the hardest thing is I'll never get to coach you again. I'll never forget, he turned up and looked at me and said, Dad, that might not be such a bad thing. It's a neat little story about this picture. In 2013, PJ was on the headsets with me. He's up in the press box at Lucas Oil. And before games, I'm a little bit different person. And it's hard for me to crack a smile or even think about cracking a smile. And coming down the sideline, I put the headsets on and we're doing the check, make sure we got everybody on. And all of a sudden I hear this, Dad, look up, look up. And that smile came from, I look up at a Jumbotron in Lucas Oil and I'm looking at myself. And I couldn't help but laugh. So whoever caught that picture, and Dee's always said that's the greatest picture of you. So it was a smiling moment. Andrean's been an unbelievable place. If you come into my office at home, there's a big picture of Hannah standing in the end zone with PJ's Letterman's jacket, with our dog and her fiance. It's a big canvas picture in the end zone. That's Andrean. That's Andrean. That's what it brings. Just an amazing, amazing journey. It was the hardest thing. I'll leave you with this. About a week after I left, and it was an incredibly hard decision to leave. But about a week after I left, I woke up in the middle of the night, crying like a baby. I looked at Dee and I said, do you think they'll take me back? And I was serious. I wanted to go back. But it was time. It was time for me to move on. I want to thank you for allowing me to coach here. Everyone that's here that I was a part of your son, thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to spend time with your children. It's amazing. Thank you too for everything you've been there for. Thank Andrean, and congratulations to everybody. Kenny, grew up together playing baseball. You know, watching Sean, watching all these guys, everybody that's in this room, all these kids, man. We've had a few together, huh? Yeah. Coaching is a special thing. It's an amazing thing. You get to spend time with great kids. And the greatest thing about it is you get to be called the greatest thing in the world. You get to be called coach. Thank you very much.